And there it goes. Hello, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are. Today is January 3rd, 2018 now. And today is I've already forgotten, I think it's 1.236. It's January 3rd, and I am wearing my Hooker Red lipstick that every cross-dresser, trans woman, and whomever else buys the Hooker Red lipstick that they never wear once they buy it, but they've always wanted the Hooker Red, and I've kept mine because occasionally I'll put something on that's not as red, and I'll red it up a little bit. But boy, this is Hooker Red, guaranteed. Everyone's got. They make that mistake at first, and that's cool. That's all part of learning, and nothing against hookers or people that wear Hooker Red. My ex-wife told me I couldn't paint my fingernails red because that's what hookers do. And I was like, oh, really? So, anyway, so what's happening today? Lots of news as far as for me goes. I had my follow-up appointment with my endocrinologist today. And I asked a couple things about, I'm not going to give away anything personal here. Of course, it is my blog. It's my vlog, you know. I feel like my hair is unbalanced. I'm not vain, I promise. Okay. Maybe I'm a little vain. I don't know. Where were we? Endocrinologist. And I said to her that I'm having a bit of a problem identifying, like, if I get the feeling like I go, ooh, here comes a wave of emotion, and I need to cry. I need to get it out. Okay. And it's right on the edge of just, it's right on the edge of just open it up and let your emotions go. Cry your eyes out. I feel like I can't do that. I feel like my emotions are in this box, locked up, and I can't get them out. And it's like I can get right to the precipice of, right to the edge of having an emotional, and it doesn't happen. I can definitely get excited to a certain point. Happy is the same way I can get kind of sad to a certain point, but I can't push past that barrier. And here's what she said. She's pretty damn smart. She said that, and I happen to be on a mood blocker, and this mood blocker, because of my anxiety, it's Zoloft. I'm not going to hide that from you. It's a common general anxiety disorder. I've had it, and when things get kind of stressed out or a different new situation, too much stress, I just lock up. My brain just. And that's not, I don't share that so you can watch me lock up. But if you think about it, if the whole point of that, to remove the edge off your anxiety, is to numb or to tamper or to dampen those highs and lows, then no, I wouldn't have that full, I don't have the full range of experience. I don't have the full range of, the full spectrum of emotion in my disposal. In my emotional toolbox, because some of it is being intentionally kept under wraps. Okay, and that makes pretty good sense. So I'm going to talk to my personal brain care specialist, my shrink, and see if maybe I can cut back my dosage or whatnot, because I do want to let the Karen out of the bag here. I want to let the give some lead. I'm not going to say I'm a dog, but give some, let her run a little bit, let her out a little bit, give her some slack on the line. Hey, Nay. And so that was kind of one point, and I share that because you might be in a similar situation where you feel like you can't express yourself, and maybe you are on some kind of antidepressant or mood blocker, and that's not to say stop taking your medicine. Work with your provider, okay? Work with your doctor. work with your counselor, work with your psychologist, your therapist to figure out what's going on. You know, our bodies are very, very complex machines and interact with each other in different ways. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Second concern. It's okay, baby. I got it. Second concern. While I wipe my nose. Sorry. Ooh, wipe it all over me. Gross. Ooh. Why is your hair blue? I don't know. All right. Now I'm off track. Big time. Namaste. Okay. We're back in our spot. Our chakras are aligned. The humors are balanced. I'm full of shit. I'm happily full of shit, though. I should start my own crackpot religion. Where were we? Damn it. Derailed myself. Second thing was injections. And I had been put on back in the 90s. I'm going to do it again. Sorry. In the 90s, I was on not progesterone. In the 90s, I was on Premarin. I was on an oral estrogen. And this time around, my endocrinologist put me on the patch, a transdermal patch. You know, that you open it up and you peel off the back and you stick it on your waist. And, you know, it's kind of to be used once a week or twice a week. You replace one patch, so you get 8 in a box. It's a month's supply. And because my testosterone is so high, my body, the way the chemistry of my body is, I have to be on 4 of those twice a week. So I go through 8. I go through a box of patches a week. I go through a month's supply of estrogen in a week. Okay? So for a 3-month supply, that's like $700. It's pretty pricey. Okay, now granted, it all goes towards my deductible, and don't let the number fool you. But still, when your resources are limited fiscally, but more on the health insurance side, you begin to question, you know, how am I going to pay for this and whatnot. So I'm curious to see if the injections are cheaper. I think if it's to my insurance company's benefit, they're definitely going to go towards it. You know, in the immediate future, I have to pay for it. But once I hit my deductible, which is usually after the 3rd month, you know, for the remainder 9 months, my insurance company is paying $700. What is that? $2,100 that my company is going to pay for. And so if they can get me on a cheaper thing, I think it's to their advantage, and we'll see if the results are any different. Everyone I talk to, and it's the infamous they say that injections of the 3, the injections are the way to go. Oral, I think, is your starter. For myself, number 1 being afraid of needles, but also transdermally, it's a slower absorption. It's not a spike of estrogen. Whereas when you stick it in your body, it's a spike, you know. Not that I'm a doctor, I don't play one on TV, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I have a little bit of practical experience just being around it. And so we'll see. So I'm going to give injections a shot. Thank you very much. Be here all week. And we'll take a stab at it and see how it goes. Okay, so I just wanted to inject that in there. Shut up. Sorry. So we'll see how that goes. And the other thing, I can't think of what the third thing was. There were 3 of them. Oh, cream in my coffee. I was on a lidocaine cream, and my electrologist suggested a lidocaine. Did I say lidocaine? I can't think of the name of it. It's some other cane, raising cane. It's not lidocaine. Maybe it is lidocaine. It's another cane, but it's a mixture. It's EMLA. EMLA is like the EMLA is the brand name, and it's 2.5% of one thing and 2.5% of lidocaine. And one of them is like a water base versus an oil base, and it's something to do with the greasiness of it when you're dealing with your friendly neighborhood electrolysis person, and they're trying to grab the hair and they can't because it's oily or whatnot. I don't know. I do what she tells me. You know what I mean? So we'll give it a shot. So that was the third thing. But it was just a really, really good visit. And I hadn't seen my endo for a while. I was due for my blood panels. So that's all, the nuts and bolts of monkeying around with your hormones, okay, which I think you will find every so often. So here's the non-monkey around bit. And then this will be my last section for today's. I want to talk a little bit about comparison. As I drove into the parking lot and I parked my car and I got my purse and everything, and I got out of the car, I was reminded of the comparison of what my appointment, when I go today to the doctor's office, to the endocrinologist's office, versus what it was in May of whatever year it was. I started almost 2 years, it's over a year ago. So almost 2 years ago. Some 20, 21, 22 months ago. We'll say 20. How different it was then when I pulled up into this. I remember the day because it was so significant. I was like, I've got my letter. I'm here, and she's agreed to see me, and she knows what I'm here for, and wonderful, just wonderful experience, but also somewhat scared. And I remember walking, I drove to the place, and then I had to change my clothes, and I put on a bra, and I stuffed it with socks, and went in and did my best to be Mrs. Parks, and probably made a fool of myself because, she was like, I was so conscientious, number one, of how I looked, but also how I sounded. And I really did try to do the falsetto, not falsetto, but the educated falsetto, oh, I'm here for my endocrinologist appointment, oh, it's so nice to see you. And that didn't last very long because it's not reality. Granted, we all get to make that choice, okay? But, there's some people who are like, I hate my voice. Okay. If you hate your voice, it's up to you. The rest of the world doesn't give a shit. But I can say that at 46 years old. But no, again, I tried very hard, and I was just so nervous. And, I think the following two appointments were very, very similar. I felt so pressured to to talk in a female voice and emulate and whatever, and now it's just fuck it. I go in and I'm myself, and I'd lie to you if I didn't say I look at the mirror when I drive in and make sure my lipstick is okay, and I was so worried about my nails today. They were chipped, so please don't think I don't give a fuck about anything. But as far as my presentation goes, but I am who I am, and that is, I'm free of your expectations, I'm free of what society demands of me, etc., etc. Somewhat, but again, the comparison between being a trans woman seeking hormones to begin with, and then on a day like today, being full-time and, coming from my own space, thumbs up. That's awesome. And I have a couple of friends who are just on the tipping point of, if they so desire, to go full-time or to at least transition. And I think I have forgotten maybe what a hard step that is, and it's something I need to be more aware of. It's when you do something 5 or 6 or 7 times, it becomes old hat. And especially if you're kind of happy with where you are and what you're doing, to remember someone who is perhaps a little bit afraid, and who is, what is the world going to think about me, and am I going to lose my job, and that whole, my parents, what are my parents going to think, and all of that bullshit that just, it's not bullshit, but I mean, it's important, but you deal with that hopefully in the first year of your transition. By the time you get to your second year, hopefully you've already burnt down, broken those burned bridges, and rebuilt. You're making new connections and new friendships, and your family is, if you're lucky, your family is accepting you for who you are. And I think I made a comment the other day about my dad dead naming me. Well, today my mom dead named me. And dead gendered me too. She said, oh, Robin, he needs to do, she said, what'd she say? I told Bob that he needed to do this. And I'm sitting there going, she, please, she. Maybe I do need to cry. I can't. I've already explained why I can't. So again, if you'll pardon the rant a little bit and the disorganized thought, just like I said, I was smiling as I walked into the office, because before I was so timid and restrained, and am I going into the waiting room as a woman? I gotta pop my voice. Am I going into the waiting room as a woman does, and am I standing the right way? Am I slouching? Is my, hello, and I'm here to see the endocrinologist. And I realized I could still do that, but it seems a little too fakey to me. And as you can tell by my hair, I'm not a fake person, okay? Otherwise, I would have dyed this a long time ago. I'm looking more and more like, the monster. I can't think of her name. It was the Monsters. But what was the mom's name? It was Herman, Grandpa, Eddie. Oh, was it like Mama? No, I'm getting confused. That's the Addams Family with Mama. I'm going to look that up. I like her a lot. But anyway. So now that I've thoroughly regressed, or address, and I'm wearing my my makeshift jumper again. I love this look. Yeah. Maybe that'd be a good thing to close out on. As I've said before, and I wasn't the first person to say it, I can definitely say that the person that I am today is not necessarily the person that I was 20 months ago. I've learned a lot. I've burnt my fingers on the hot stove a couple times. But I'm very optimistic about the future. And while, yes, I would say, I still kind of have a very goofy nature, and somewhat of a little timid girl, still inside me. I would go into a transition with an open mind. We don't know where we're going to end up. I mean, really, it is a throw of the dice, spin of the wheel of life. You don't know what number's going to come up. You don't know what's going to happen. And in some ways, we put doubt and fear and guilt and shame in our minds, and we think it's going to be terrible. We prepare ourselves for the worst, but reality might be better than the worst we can think of. Food for thought. All right, my friends, that is it for today. Thank you for listening and letting me rant. If you're on the treadmill, you've almost done 20 minutes, so that's pretty damn good. Proud of you. And the weight, the scale at my doctor's office with my clothes on, if you took off my clothes weight, it was 226, which is awesome. That would mean just 6 pounds. I wish it was just 6 pounds. But I can't walk into the doctor's office naked, so Or can I? No. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, my friends. Good luck to you on your transition, and I can't stress that enough. Good luck on your journey. Enjoy it. I know it's got moments that are down, and we definitely want results soon. I was thinking today we were talking about progesterone, and some people say, take it rectally so it gets more in your body. And she kind of looked at me like, I guess you could. Um, you know, this is a 4-year process, and I know it's hard. It's hard. Our breasts don't get as big as we want them to be, as quickly as we want them to be, and I understand. We'll do whatever we can to make it happen. But it's a 4-year process. It takes a while. And I'm still changing. I hope there's future development. You girls, you on? So, on that note, my friends, good luck. Enjoy today. Today's a present. Today's the present's a gift. Something like that. Till next time. Bye-bye and good luck.